Hi everyone, welcome back. James from Elite. We are in sunny West Yorkshire today. It's a bit rainy. We are going to be optimising this air source heat pump, Ideal Logic Air. The installation team has just finished it off. It's been up and running for a few days. It actually comes preset in not too bad settings. At least it got weather compensation mode on it straight off the bat. I'm going to be optimising the hell out of these controls and maximising efficiencies. So if you've got one of these heat pumps or even a different brand, you're going to learn a lot about setting up the controls and how it's important to set up good controls and the benefits of them. But yeah, when I get inside, this particular property is 300-year-old Yorkshire stone property, no insulation. This is a 10 kilowatt Ideal Logic Air heat pump. It's doing absolutely brilliant so far, and I'm going to get out of the way of this fan because I'm absolutely freezing. Okay, so we are going to optimise the Ideal Logic Air source heat pump controller. So this control box will be located near the cylinder cupboard most of the time, in the cylinder cupboard. So first of all, what we've got to do is go on to, this is an overall screen, this is an end user screen. So with the right knob, we can scroll around, and with tapping the right knob in, we can enter. So first of all, we need to go to installer level, which I've already done before, but I'll take you through that again. Installer, and then the code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, then we've got this spanner sign up saying that we're into the installer mode. We want to double check the quick setup. So what our installation team does is they do the quick setup and then the heat pump's left on manual on heating and hot water. And the weather curve is a little bit high, but it's just to get some heat in the property and get them going over the first couple of days. Then I'll come back and commission the system and, as I say, optimise these controls, which I'm going to take you through today. Just to double check what they've done on the quick setup, which this will first come up and first initialise, but we'll go through this together, is time date, which is self-explanatory. And then we can continue making sure that the outdoor unit is set on the correct output. This unit outside is a 10 kilowatt, and then we're going to go for a 1 radiator circuit system. Domestic hot water immersion heater, that's the backup heater. That helps with the initial startup. The immersion will come on and heat that water within the cylinder and the pipework to get that compressor going. I think it's anything like below 20 odd degrees, compressor won't come on, so it will turn the immersion on, heat the hot water, and then take that energy and that heat out of that to get that pipework going, and the flow and return temperatures nice and warm so the compressor can kick in. And then Legionella is enabled once a week, and that is pretty much that on there. Obviously, that is a really quick setup. Then it'll do a weather curve to around about 50 degrees and just get things going over the week. So we are going to complete the parameter list. Just to bear in mind, there is a Halo communication box, which I'll show you in a second. Every time you make some changes on this, you've got to press the connect button on the Halo receiver, and that just pairs the Halo and the control box quicker. So time and date as previously set. So what you'll see is you'll see these headers and then pages within these headers. So you'll get heating and then maybe 5 pages. So this is 1 of 1. If we click on that, we can go through the list. And as you can start to see, heating zone 1, page 1 of 5. You can click on that, go across to the pages, and then start scrolling across the pages. We'll go back to the start and go through these one by one. The first couple of pages is just that initial setup again. Heating schedule, we'll go through that on the Halo on this video and another separate video as well. It's just easy to do on the Halo, and that's more of an end user friendly way of doing things. This video is more about the installer getting hands-on and being confident with optimizing the controls. This isn't for the end user, although if you are confident, go for it, but bear in mind any changes that you do can implement, efficiency, life expectancy of the unit and stuff like that. They can have detrimental effects if you don't get them right. So let's have a go. that is the scheduling of the heating circuit, so we don't need to do that. Heating zone 1. So because it's on manual, there isn't, I've just put 21 degrees, there's no setback. If you was to go into the scheduling mode, you could see a setback of like 18 degrees. We always suggest no more than a 2-degree setback on them scheduling. So 21 degrees during the day, 19 at night. If that's still a little bit too warm in your bedrooms, you can start microzoning tiny little bits in your bedrooms to just get a bit more comfort if you want it cooler in the bedroom during the night. So we're going to go on to them sub pages now. It will come as a weather curve at about 1.4. If you look at a chart, I can bring a chart up. That's about 50 degrees. That will be around about 45 degrees at -3. Curve 1 is about 40 at -3. And then you can offset that curve as well. If you don't want to change the curve, you can just offset the curve a little bit. And then we always have an outside temperature switch off, depending on the customer, depending on the comfort levels inside. So let's say they like it at 18 degrees all year round, then you can have that winter, summer switch off a bit lower. So it all depends on the comfort levels of the customer, type of house, solar gain, everything. If you are a bit wary of this, then leave it right up and then just turn down your thermostat manually as normal. If you want to have a bit of a safety net, you can put that to about 18 degrees. That heating will turn off automatically, will not come on above 18 degrees outside. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Page 3, maximum and minimum flow temperatures. You can dial that down, but you might as well leave them. It is going to go to the weather compensation mode and what is set up there. More importantly is that room influence. So, sorry to adjust that. The more the room influence, the more it starts to be like an on and off thermostat. So, this is preset at 20. I think that is a good mark. If you go down to 0, it's basically weather compensation mode. It's not referring to the thermostat inside, it's just referring to the weather curve. So whatever outside temperature is, it'll deliver a flow temperature and go and go and go until it reaches that summer winter cutoff. You can really dial that down. The lower, the more efficient the system becomes, but then it starts to lean away from having a target air temperature. I think 20% is quite a good one, to be honest, but every house is different. If you want to get super efficiencies, dial it right down. If you want a customer with a little bit more control over the temperature, I would leave that at 20. So optimizing starts. Let's have a look at them. So them optimizing starts are 180 minutes. I won't worry about them. That's absolutely fine. What is more important, quite cool, is these are screw drying modes, so don't worry about that, and then we're absolutely fine there. There is a really good setting in this domestic, which we'll go through on the heating side of things, and the hot water, to be honest. It's about the compressor turning on and off, which is really important. So we've dialed in that weather curve. We're really happy with that weather curve. You can set it a lot lower, and then ask the customer to dial it up. Looking at your design, looking at real world scenarios as well, you can really dial that curve down. Okay, so domestic hot water is on. It's on manual mode on the Halo thermostat. Target temperature and setback is 1. So the lower the target temperature, the more efficient the system is, the less the heat pump has to work and do hot water, the better. We've already set this up at 48 degrees and the customer is more than happy enough. We can probably bring that down a little bit just because it is a large cylinder for a small occupancy, but we have to size the cylinder sometimes for the potential of the occupancy as well. So we're happy with that. You can do scheduling on the domestic hot water side and then optimize around smart tariffs as well, which we'll do at a later date. We just wanted to make sure the customer's happy with their hot water production, not running out of hot water. But yeah, absolutely. If some customers are on cheaper tariffs, which a lot of people are now, we would schedule that for during the night. We move across. There's actually 3 pages of the domestic hot water. Let's see what else we've got. We've got Legionella Day. We'll put that on a Sunday, and the time for that is at 1 o'clock. during the night at 60 degrees, optimising around those cheaper tariffs as well. So this is the more interesting part, and where we're really going to optimise our heat pump is the maximum and minimum pump speeds. So you will have on the Logic Air the design flow rate for heating and hot water. Bigger the heat pump, the more flow we need. On this 10 kilowatt, it needs 30 litres per minute. So if we are over the flow rate and it's going out 35 litres per minute, we want to dial down that maximum speed. We'll go through it in a second. The heating is obviously as important, but we can have a look at that. So if it's over that, how you set this up is you could put these two together and then see what it comes out at, and then gradually move them apart. This is absolutely bang on at the moment, which has got 30 litres per minute, and then we can see what the minimum flow rate is as well. But that is really important. We don't want too much flow rate. We want to therefore have a nice DT of 5 between the flow and return, and then the pump is going to modulate around that DT as well. So that's on your hot water, and you can do the same with the heating. So them are really important that you set up these pump speeds. As I say, you can have too much flow and have too little flow as well. So same with the heating and hot water. These come at 100% and 70%. On a bigger heat pump, these will be probably there or thereabouts right. On a smaller heat pump, you can have these a lot faster than they need to be. So you can start dialing them right in. Pump overrun is just 240 seconds. That's just how long that pump's going to circulate after the compressor's off. This is probably one of the more important settings, which is really important, is the compressor off time. It comes preset at 18. Our dealer have said now start to putting it to 15. So that's saying how long that compressor is going to be off in between times. I believe that there's going to be less importance of oversizing units and cycling because of these better control methodologies. So if we were to monitor this system and we found that it cycles more and more and more, the customer's never cold as well, we can really string out that compressor off time as well. If you had this particular heat pump in a property and it was massively oversized, you would really string out that compressor off time. So that is really interesting. We've done it to 15 at the moment. We can do that mode more and more. And then the differential temperatures is obviously 5DT as well. So, and then there's some silent modes as well. Silent mode, power output. That's quite cool, isn't it? So you can actually set how much it's using. Okay. On your silent mode. That's really cool. And then you can do silent mode, I believe, times as well, on, off. And there's a bivalent point in terms of using a secondary heat source. Let's have a look. Domestic hot water settings, 10 degrees hysteresis, and that's the only temperature setting on there. There is an end user setting, which we'll go through on how you can change your temperature of your hot water in here. And that's just that quick set up configuration. So I hope that this video has helped. Talking about weather curve, really dialing that down, probably starting a little bit lower than needed. We can design the system to 21 degrees in living room areas, and then when it goes to finishing up, the customer won't want 19 degrees. So it's really dialing in that weather curve for that customer's needs. We might bring this a little bit lower in terms of the, and then obviously also we've got the room influence is really important. The lower the better, and compression cycle on and off times. The more strung out they are, the better as well. So we can run for a good, hour or so, and then it might be turned off for half an hour, and it's just going to elongate them cycle times and reduce cycling. So that is really important. The lower the better for the, I'm just playing around with this to be fair in between. Let's go right back to the end user, back, and then we can look at our hot water set point here is 48 degrees, and that's what it's coming at. That hot water temperature dropped because it was nicking energy out the system, out the cylinder as it was starting the heating, because then flow and return temperatures was quite low and it needed energy to kickstart that compressor. So yeah, room influence, knock that right down. Elongate cycle times in terms of the compressor, dialing in that weather curve, save them that room influence as well, and you'll be absolutely spot on. We can look at the efficiencies on the Halo, look at some scheduling as well on the Halo as well. So I hope that has really catapulted you quicker and further forward in optimizing this Halo, ideal Logic Air, and yeah, get some better systems out there and more efficient all the time. So yeah, hopefully that's helped. Cheers, guys. Okay, so we're going to look at the Halo controller. This controller is wireless. It has a receiver on the wall. This can be sited anywhere in the property. Obviously, we want to look at a mean average temperature of the property and site it there. They're not too close to heat sources and not too cold. And as I say, there's a backing plate on the back, so we can site that as well. This is wireless, and we're going to find the optimum place for it first of all before putting it against the wall. So we can set up some scheduling. Menu. Holiday mode is how many days we're going to be away from the property, and then it will revert for frost protection. I won't do that. If you're going to go in the depth of winter, you put it on manual, just put it down to 13, 14 degrees. You've got no chance of the property freezing. It's not going to cost you a lot of money. It's going to cost a lot more money on repairs and stuff like that if you get really close to freezing point. So I'd just be sensible and put it just a lower temperature instead of right down. Heating schedule. So I did one a bit earlier, just for the cut. That's me being on my tools. You can add a schedule. What I would recommend is I would just put. Let's have a look. We're going to go and edit that schedule. You can add another schedule, so you can add multiple schedules if you're an Octopus Cozy. You might want to do this so you're ramping it up on the cheaper periods and cooling it down on the really expensive period before it hits between 4 and 7. You can do this, but heat pumps do love to be low, slow, and continuous, so there is a massive caveat behind that. So I've set up a 6 o'clock. We can add and change that and confirm it till 9 at night. And then at night time, it's just going to go down to 19 degrees, no more than 2 degree setback. It's just going to cost more energy, more time to get it back up. If the customer loves 21 degrees throughout the house all day, every day, but a bit too stuffy in the bedrooms, you can micro-zone that bedroom down a little bit. Heat pumps love to be low, slow, and continuous and lots of water volume. So that would be my recommendation, especially when initially getting a heat pump system, it can be quite a different heat. So I would put it on manual and just set a temperature and see how you go. With them low, slow, and continuous run times and what we've done on the control box, it just lends itself to more and more efficiencies all the time. If you are going to do different times around a smart tariff, you can suffer efficiency, but you will have a better return on investment. So it is totally up to you on that one. So we've done the scheduling. We can add schedules. The good thing about it as well is you can, we can edit them schedules, and also we can copy them to other days, and you can just put all, or if you are away or anything, it all depends on your own patterns as well. So if you are home a lot, just keep it the same. If you work away a lot, you might want to drop it down. So it's everyone's different. So we go to that. How do you change the temperatures within them heating schedules? Is going to temperature settings, and then just having just a little change on them as well. So if your comfort is 20 degrees and you want that setback to be a bit lower, you can do, and you can save and confirm that as well. Hot water controls. Not a lot on this because it's more on that control box, to be fair. So I would revert back to what we're saying on the control box. Hot water menu. It doesn't really give you much. It just says should be done by an installer and go to the control box. you can set the hot water temperature. I think that's the only thing that's lacking on this Halo, is setting the actual temperatures, if I'm wrong, but setting the temperatures via this controller would be a little bit better. For some reason, you can't do that. It's all on that control box. So we have ramped this right up. Our target temperature, we are on manual mode. So if just going through them modes, your manual mode, auto is going to revert to them schedules we just set. So I'm just going to leave it on manual for now, especially with getting the heating system back up and running. It's absolutely toasty in here. So I've just, I'm whacking up to get things rocking and rolling. We can have a look at energy data, the interesting part. So looking at what's input and output of the last 7 days, the last day, the last 30 days, and all year long. More importantly, what is the cop and scop? Since we've installed this, it's not been too bad. This has been on generic settings. The lads just want to get heat in the property and the customer nice and happy. So we do that, and then I'll dial in the system. As you can see, it's got a copper currently of nearly 400, even though I'm ramping that right up, and that's all to do with optimizing them settings in the background on that control box. So take with these with a bit of a pinch of salt. They are a bit of guesswork. If you really want to get accurate scops and cops, you want heat meters on there, and you get them from Open Energy Monitoring. The good guys doing great work there. So, and then it can show you the mixture between hot water and heating on the efficiencies there as well. But no, it's really good. And, you know, if it's a little bit out, then at least we're going in the right direction. If it's really low, at least, you know, it's not great. It's not going to be massively out, but it just gives you a bit of an indication if you've got a efficient system as well. So yeah, that is the Halo thermostat. We're on manual mode at the moment. We're going to knock that down because I'm absolutely sweltering in here. We want it to be a nice 20 degrees, finding a mean average good area for this Halo thermostat. If you are confident in where it is, after that, then you might want to sight it. Yeah, that's the Halo thermostat. And just to go over it quickly again, on the heating, you can have auto and then the manual mode. We're going to keep it into manual and confirm. And then on your hot water, you've got the modes again on there, permanently on, permanently off. And you have to do scheduling actually on the controller to do these schedulings on the hot water as well. But hopefully that gives you a bit of a broader knowledge base on the Halo thermostat and the control box. If you pretty much do what we've just done then, you're going to have a really decent, efficient system straight off the back. And yeah, just optimizing around the customer's comfort levels, and away you go. So yeah, don't leave it on the default, even though it's not too bad, and it goes straight onto weather compensation mode. Optimize both the control box and the Halo. You'll be absolutely fine. They're a really, really good unit, and yeah, brilliant, and not too hard to optimize. So hopefully you got a lot out of that. I would say leave that on. I think you might be able to extend the time it being on and off. And obviously when you're doing a heating schedule as well, just make sure you've got the right time of day and everything like that, because that can screw things right up as well. So hopefully you've learned a lot on this video, and yeah, get the most out of your Logic Air heat pump system. We have. Cheers now. Thank you.